This particular demonstration of Technology Services Group High Performance Interface will detail a typical insurance claims and underwriting scenario. Here, an underwriter user is looking for a particular account, so he'll utilize the search. The result is returned, and we can take a look at the details of this account. Here we can see that some notes had been written about this account. In particular, we can see that an account was opened and some claims were filed. What we'd like to do here is say that we're taking ownership of this account because it needs to be reevaluated. As you can see, I don't know exactly how to spell reevaluating, so I'm going to have to rely on the spell checker. The changes are made, and we can replace our incorrectly spelled word. Additionally, I'm going to add a little bit more detail to my note. I do need to make the word expired bold because I want people to see that. So now I'll add the note, and we'll see it in our notes table. So now we can see that the note has been added and the word expired is in bold. Now I'm also intrigued by these claims that were filed, and I'd like to know a little bit more about them. So I can navigate to the related folders and take a look at some of the information about the claims. Here I can see the summary report for the claim. I can see when the claim was made, which matches up to the note in the table. Now I also saw there are some underwriting notes here, and it looked like a document of notes. So I'm interested to see what was in there. It looks like some more information about the account, and a note that the account needs to be reevaluated. So what I'd like to do is add another note, just kind of summarizing that yes, I'm taking account of the responsibility, and I'm just going to link this document to my note just so everyone can take a look at it. Now I'm going to add that, and we'll see it in the table again. Now if I ask myself, I wonder what document was attached to this particular note, I can always click on the link and the document will pop up. Additionally, the user can close this document and get the full screen effect. They can also filter notes. So if they're curious about notes that had to do with claims, they could quickly filter those non-claim notes out. We now have a second underwriter entering the system. He needs to take a look at the same account, so he's going to make a search for that. The result comes up and he's able to take a look at it. Here he sees the same notes that were available to the previous underwriter. He sees when the claims were filed, when the account was opened, and that someone's requesting that this account be reevaluated. While our first underwriter claimed that he would take over the account, he was really delegating to the second underwriter. So what I'm going to do now is add a note saying that I'm taking over the account. Now I want to highlight what my extension is in case anyone wants to get a hold of me. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to make use of the size in our rich text editor and choose a larger font. So now when I add my note, it's updated in the system. However, I just realized that my extension changed in the last week. I'm going to need to edit it here. Note that the edit icon is available for notes that were just created. This icon is not available for anyone else's notes or for notes older than 3 days. So I can click on this and I can edit my note and put my correct extension. And now we'll see that the changes have persisted. Now what I want to do now is export these notes so I can have them handy when I'm not at the computer. So what I'm going to do now is click Export Notes, and now we have a HTML export of the notes pop up. So now this can be printed if necessary. Now additionally, what I'd like to do is take a look at this same underwriting note page that was created. I just want to double check what's on here since I'm going to be evaluating this account now. I can see when the previous policy period was and a note about the account. So what I'd like to do is send an email with this document. So as I get to this page, I can say this account needs to be reevaluated. Is there any other information? So I'll ask the previous underwriter. Now down at the bottom, we have the ability to add a note. Every time an email is sent, a note is created on our notes page. By default, the note that's created uses the subject line of the email and attaches the email correspondence that gets sent out as a document. Alternatively, you can provide your own note, which is what I'll do down here. Now I can send my email. Now we can see here that the note has been created. Finally, we have a claims user enter the system. He's interested in the history of the claims for this particular account. So we're going to do a claims search to bring those up. There's 2 claims that have been returned, which is consistent with what we've seen from the underwriters. This particular user is intrigued by this second claim. So here, we're taking a look at some of the notes that were created, and it looks like someone had added some notes about some of the documents that were attached for reviewing this particular claim. So we'll take a look at the status report here, just to see what happened. So as we can see, the pertinent information is listed here. Additionally, this claims user is able to take a look at the underwriting account, which we see here, along with another claim that's also related to the same account. So through here we can navigate and see that same underwriting note.